The first time 16-year-old Maya Bennett saw her mother cry, it was not over a funeral, a broken heart, or even the day they were evicted from their apartment. It was over a lunchbox, a cheap pink lunchbox with one broken zipper and a faded butterfly on the front. Her mother, Lisa, stood in the tiny kitchen of their one-bedroom apartment, carefully wrapping a peanut butter sandwich in wax paper, because they had run out of plastic bags. The rain tapped softly against the cracked window, and the smell of old paint and instant coffee filled the room. Lisa's hands trembled as she tucked a bruised apple beside the sandwich. "I'm sorry, baby," she whispered, her voice catching. Maya looked up from the table, startled. "For what?" Lisa forced a smile, but tears slipped down her cheeks anyway. "For not being able to give you more." In that moment, Maya felt something sharp and painful settle inside her chest. Not shame, not anger. Love. A fierce, aching kind of love. She got up, wrapped her arms around her mother's waist, and held on tight. "You already give me everything," Maya said. Across town, in a mansion with marble floors and windows taller than most houses, another girl her age was throwing her breakfast untouched into the trash. Olivia Sterling had everything money could buy. Designer clothes, a private driver, the newest phone, a walk-in closet bigger than Maya's entire apartment. But when Olivia came downstairs that morning, her mother, Victoria Sterling, was already on a conference call, dressed in a tailored cream suit, diamonds sparkling at her ears. "Good morning, Mom," Olivia said. Victoria held up one finger without looking at her. Olivia stood there for a moment, waiting. Nothing. The housekeeper placed avocado toast and fresh juice in front of her. Still nothing. Victoria walked past, still speaking into her headset. "Tell them I want the contract by noon." The front door shut behind her. Olivia stared at the empty doorway, then slowly sat down. The silence in the mansion was louder than any noise. At school, fate had a strange way of bringing opposite worlds together. Maya attended Westbrook High on a scholarship. She was smart, quiet, and kind, known more for helping others than for trying to fit in. Olivia was the school's golden girl. Beautiful, popular, rich. The daughter of Victoria Sterling, CEO of Sterling Global, one of the largest companies in the state. The two girls rarely spoke. They lived in different universes. But that changed the day their English teacher announced the semester project. "You'll be working in pairs," Mrs. Dalton said, smiling. "Your assignment is simple. Spend 2 weeks learning about the concept of family and write a story based on what you discover." She began reading the names. Maya Bennett and Olivia Sterling. The classroom buzzed. Olivia looked annoyed. Maya looked nervous. After class, Olivia approached her locker, arms crossed. "Look," she said flatly, "let's just get this over with. We'll meet at my house after school." Maya nodded. "Okay." That afternoon, Maya stepped out of the bus in front of the Sterling estate and froze. The gates alone probably cost more than everything she and her mother owned. Inside, everything gleamed. Crystal chandeliers, white marble floors, walls covered in expensive paintings. It was breathtaking, and somehow cold. Olivia led her upstairs. "My mom's not home," she said. Maya glanced around the massive living room. "This place is beautiful." Olivia gave a dry laugh. "Yeah, beautiful." There was something in the way she said it that made Maya pause. Over the next few days, they worked together after school. At first, it was awkward. Olivia was sarcastic and distant. Maya was careful and polite. But little by little, cracks began to show. One evening, Maya asked softly, "Do you and your mom ever eat dinner together?" Olivia looked up from her laptop. "No." "What about weekends?" Olivia shrugged. "She's usually traveling." Maya hesitated. "Your dad?" The room went still. "He left when I was 8. The words came out flat, practiced. Maya didn't press further. Instead, she simply said, "I'm sorry." Olivia stared at her almost suspiciously. No one at school ever spoke to her like that. They either admired her or envied her. No one simply cared. A week later, Olivia had to come to Maya's apartment to continue their project. When Lisa opened the door, her face lit up with warmth. "You must be Olivia." "Come in, sweetheart." Olivia stepped inside, stunned by how small the place was. The couch had a patched armrest. The kitchen table wobbled. The wallpaper peeled near the corners. But it smelled like cinnamon and fresh bread. Lisa had baked cookies. "For us?" Olivia asked. "Of course," Lisa said with a smile. Girls need fuel for homework. Olivia sat at the tiny kitchen table while Lisa fussed over them, pouring milk into mismatched glasses. Maya rolled her eyes affectionately. "Mom, we're not 5. Lisa laughed. For the first time in what felt like forever, Olivia found herself laughing too. Later that night, as Maya walked her to the door, Olivia said quietly, "Your mom is nice." Maya smiled. "She's the best person I know." Olivia nodded, but her eyes looked distant. That night, back in her enormous room, Olivia sat alone on the edge of her bed. The silence returned. Only now it felt heavier. She thought about Lisa's laugh, the warmth in that apartment, the way Maya and her mother looked at each other, like they mattered, like they belonged. Something inside Olivia ached. The next morning, Victoria was home for once. Olivia found her in the kitchen, reading emails on her tablet. "Mom?" Victoria didn't look up. "Can we have dinner together tonight?" Victoria sighed. "Not tonight, sweetheart. I have a gala." Olivia swallowed. "You said that yesterday." Victoria finally looked up, impatience flashing across her face. "I'm doing all of this for us, Olivia. But you're never here." Victoria's expression hardened. "One day you'll understand sacrifice." Olivia laughed bitterly. "Funny. Maya's mom has nothing and she still finds time." The words landed like glass shattering. Victoria stood very still. "Who?" "My project partner." Olivia grabbed her bag and left. That evening, something unexpected happened. Victoria Sterling showed up at Maya's apartment. Lisa opened the door, surprised. "Yes?" Victoria stood in the hallway, perfectly dressed, but her eyes looked tired. "I'm Olivia's mother." Lisa smiled politely. "Please come in." Victoria stepped inside and looked around the small space. It was humble, worn, but alive. Family photos covered the walls. Laughter came from the kitchen where the girls were working. Victoria watched as Maya handed Olivia a cookie, both of them smiling. A strange emotion stirred in her chest. Jealousy. Not of money, of love. Later, while the girls finished their work, Victoria and Lisa sat in the kitchen. "You've raised a remarkable daughter," Victoria said. Lisa smiled softly. "So have you." Victoria gave a bitter laugh. "I'm not sure about that." Lisa studied her for a moment. "You know," she said gently, "kids don't remember the price of the house or the brand of their shoes." Victoria looked up. "They remember who sat beside them when they were hurting." The words hit harder than Victoria expected. For the first time in years, she felt ashamed. A few days later, tragedy struck. Lisa collapsed at work. Maya got the call during school. By the time she reached the hospital, her mother was in surgery. A ruptured appendix, complications. Maya sat alone in the waiting room, shaking, tears streaming down her face. Then Olivia appeared. Behind her was Victoria. "We came as soon as we heard," Olivia said. Maya broke down. Victoria sat beside her and, without a word, wrapped an arm around her shoulders. Hours passed. Finally, the doctor emerged. "She's stable now." Maya burst into tears of relief. But the next blow came quickly. The surgery bill. Even with insurance, the cost was far beyond what they could afford. Maya stared at the paper in horror. Victoria quietly took it from her hands. "It's handled." Maya blinked. "What?" "I paid it." "No, I can't." "Yes, you can," Victoria said firmly. Maya's eyes filled again. "Why?" Victoria looked toward Olivia. "Because someone reminded me what really matters." Weeks passed. Lisa recovered slowly. During that time, something beautiful began to change. Victoria started coming home early. She canceled weekend trips. She ate dinner with Olivia. Sometimes they even came to Maya's apartment, where the four of them squeezed around the tiny table, laughing over homemade pasta. One evening, Victoria confessed softly to Lisa, "I spent years trying to be the perfect provider." Lisa smiled. "And forgot to be present?" Victoria nodded, tears in her eyes. Lisa reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "It's never too late." The final presentation day arrived. Mrs. Dalton asked each pair to share what they had learned about family. Olivia stood first. Her voice trembled. "I used to think being rich meant having everything." The room went silent. "But I learned that love, time, and kindness are worth more than any amount of money." She glanced at Maya. Some people are poor in money but rich in heart. Then Maya stood. I learned that sometimes the people who seem to have the least are the ones who give the most. She smiled at Olivia. And sometimes, people who seem to have everything are carrying the deepest loneliness. The class was silent. Some students wiped tears from their eyes. Mrs. Dalton smiled warmly. That, she said, is the story of humanity. Months later, Victoria launched a scholarship, Foundation in Lisa's name for underprivileged students. Not for publicity, not for business, for purpose, for change. And every Sunday evening, both families shared dinner together. At one end of the table sat Lisa, still in her simple clothes, smiling warmly. At the other sat Victoria, no longer hiding behind her work. In the middle sat Maya and Olivia, laughing like sisters. One rainy night, as Maya helped her mother wash dishes, Lisa smiled and said, "Funny, isn't it?" "What?" "We thought one family was rich and the other poor." Maya looked toward the dining room where Olivia and Victoria were laughing together. "Turns out," she said softly, "we were both a little of each." Lisa kissed her forehead. "Yes," she whispered. "But kindness made us all rich. And in the end, that was the truth no amount of money could ever buy. A loving heart can heal emptiness. Presence can mend loneliness. And sometimes the richest gift one person can give another is simply being there. Because true wealth was never measured in dollars. It was measured in love.